Hello everyone, this is Nirmala from Vivekananda Academy of Human Excellence. Today we are going to see class 10th English lesson number 2, Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. This lesson is taken from the autobiography of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela is his full name. He addressed as Madiba, Xhosa clan name. He belonged to the Thembu royal family from South Africa and he was the first president of South Africa. He was fighting against the apartheid system. Nelson Mandela served prison for 27 years for the abolition of apartheid system, that is racial discrimination on the basis of the color of the skin. The people are of many skin colors. Some have white color skin color, some have black skin color, some have like whitish or many skin colors we know. So in South Africa there was discrimination for this. Racial discrimination was there, that black and white people, colored people, Indian people, according to this discrimination has happened, and against this discrimination Nelson Mandela has fought for many years and continuously 27 years he was in jail. He came to be known as the father of the nation in South Africa. For decades, this had been the seat of white supremacy, and now it was the site of a rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. This story starts with the 10th May 1994 when Nelson Mandela released from the jail and South Africa became a free country or independent country, and this was the day when South Africa was going to turn in a democratic and non-racial government. And on this day the incident happens, and that incident is shown in this lesson which we are going to study. We thank all of our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity or respect. These are the words said by Nelson Mandela. He was addressing the people when he came out of the jail, when South Africa became a independent country, and on 10th May this is a ceremony when Nelson Mandela is announced as the first president of free South Africa. And so he is addressing that when all these international guests also were there, national people, international guests have gathered here for this big ceremony, and they are participating here the ceremony of victory or ceremony of independent South Africa. And so Nelson Mandela is addressing all of them very respectfully that they have gathered here. Only moments before the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged or promised their loyalty. Pledged means its meaning is promised. So all the people, police or army people, everyone was very proud at that time. You can see it in the picture that aeroplanes are saluting here for the free nation, now democratic nation. It is non-racial government will run here, because for long period of time these people have faced many of the problems. The racial discrimination was there, they did not have any rights, or they were living like a slave in their own country because of this discrimination. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth, the white-skinned peoples of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned peoples of their own land. Here, Nelson Mandela is again explaining that what was the situation in 20th century, first decade of 20th century, how the situation was there. He is explaining that day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of my people whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. Means which people have sacrificed their lives for the democratic nation, for the independence of the country. Like in India, we know that how people have fought. People, lakhs of millions of people have struggled for nearby 200 years or more than 100 years. People were struggling. Here also in South Africa, he is showing his respect towards those all people who have sacrificed their lives for the free nation. They have shown their courage, which is uncountable, which can't be which can't be repaid. We can't repay that whatever the contribution they have given. I felt that day, as I have on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. Before his birth also, many of the people have sacrificed their lives for the free nation, against this apartheid system, against the racial discrimination, against the injustices what were happening with the people. Many of the people have died before the birth of Nelson Mandela. Perhaps it requires such depths of oppression to create such heights of character. My country is rich in the minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil, but I have always known that its greatest wealth is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. So here, as we also know that South Africa is rich in minerals, diamond mines are there, different types of minerals deposits are there in South Africa. But Nelson Mandela says here that rather than these all the rich minerals, diamonds are there, gold is there, or other minerals also we get here, but rather than all that things, above all of these wealthy gems and diamond, what is the important thing in his country? He says that the greatest wealth is its people, the African people who are there, who are finer, who are truer than the purest diamonds. They are very fine, they are very pure than the diamonds. Like that he appreciate the people of South Africa. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. So, what is the courage? The courage is a triumph over the fear. These people who have fought against the apartheid system, they were fearless. They have made the victory. They have taken the triumph over this fear. They are not afraid of anyone, anything. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Does not afraid, that person we can't say as a brave man, but who conquers his or her fear, that person in reality we can say as the brave man. Yes, you have to conquer your fear, then only we can say as you are the brave man. Only the not to afraid or don't have feelings of afraidness or you don't fear of anything, that is not enough. If you will conquer your fear, then it will not come to you, and that is your victory, and then we can say the person as the brave man. And who was Nelson Mandela and the other people who were fight with him and before him also. In a civil and human society, each man is able to fulfill those obligations according to his own inclinations or natural tendencies or behavior and abilities. So in civil society, in human society, every person was able to fulfill those obligations, whatever they want. Everyone can fulfill, yes, according to their own inclination. Whatever they want, yes, they can get it. That is everyone's behavior, that is everyone's natural tendency. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of my birth and color to fulfill both of those obligations. So, in South Africa, where Nelson Mandela also born, for these people, it was not that much easy or not possible to fulfill their own obligations, to fulfill their own desires, because they were living under the apartheid system, under the rule of whites. Whites were discriminating all the black people, colored people, women, everyone was discriminated by this racial discrimination or apartheid by the white people. I didn't in the beginning choose to place my people above my family, but in attempting to serve my people, I found that I was prevented from fulfilling my obligations as a son, a brother, a father, and a husband. Here he accepts that as the human being, previously he was a family man. He was taking care of his family, his sister, his brother, his parents, or his children. Everyone's care he was taking. But now he understood that I need to serve my nation. I have my duties towards my nation. So I have to put myself to the country. I have to devote myself. I have to sacrifice myself to the country. My country needs me. And that's why he couldn't give his attention towards his family. And he accepts that he has not fulfilled any of the duties towards his family as a son, as a brother, as a father, as a husband. Never he has not fulfilled anyone's desires. I was not born with a hunger to be free. I was born free in every way that I could know. When he born, how he born? He did not have any feelings or hunger to be free, because he did not know what is freedom and what is bindedness. He did not know what is interdependent or what is independent. No, he did not know. He just born as free. Because he was a small child, innocent child, he did not know about these things. All the things have come afterwards. So he is saying that I was not hungry for the freedom, because when he born, when he grown up, he did not know about these things. His views, his thoughts have been increased or improved. Then he has noticed what type of government is there, what type of lifestyle the people are living in South Africa. Free to run in the fields near my mother's hut, free to swim in the clear stream that ran through my village, free to roast mealies under the stars and ride the broad backs of slow moving bulls. So he was not born as free to run in the fields. Like a small child, he was born in his mother's hut. He was free to swim. Like a common child, he was also doing the same activities like swimming, running, playing here and there. That things were going on and going on. He born to ride the broad backs of slow moving bulls. Which daily activities he was doing, or like other common man, common children, he was also the same. He was doing the same activities here that he is sharing with us. It was only when I began to learn that my boyhood freedom was an illusion, something that appears to be real but is not, that is called as illusion. When I discovered as a young man that my freedom had already been taken from me, that I began to hunger for it. Now, what he has told previously, that he was not hungry for the freedom. Now he understood when he became young. At that time, he understood, or the thing has come in his mind, that after the boyhood, when freedom was an illusion, he was thinking that freedom is an illusion, means there is no any real freedom like anything is there. It is just illusion. It is disappear. When he discovered as a young man that my freedom had already been taken from me, that I began to hunger for it. When he became young, he understood that we are not free. I am not free in my country. This is my country, but I am not free. These all the people are not free. So where is this freedom? And then he became hungry for the freedom. He decided to get his freedom from the white people. He will give this freedom to all the people of the country, and he became hungry at that time. As he has explained previously, he was not hungry for the freedom. In childhood, he did not know about that. Later, as a young man in Johannesburg, I yearned for the basic and honorable freedoms of achieving my potential, of earning my keep, of marrying and having a family, the freedom not to be obstructed in a lawful life. Now, when he became young, when he was young in Johannesburg, he was there. He yearned for the basic and honorable freedoms of achieving his potentials, whatever his potentials, what he wanted to develop his skills, that what things are there in his mind, or what is inside him, that he wanted to find out. Of earning my keep, where he wanted to see that how he will earn the money. He married, so how the married life will be, and having a family, the freedom not to obstructed in lawful life. Only have a family, or only have to be married, or to earn the money was not enough for the country, or that we can't say as a lawful life. Something new, something extra also should be there for the nation. It was this desire for the freedom of my people to live their lives with dignity and self-respect that animated my life, that transformed a frightened young man into a bold one, that drove a law-abiding attorney to become a criminal, that turned a family-loving husband into a man without a home, that forced a life-loving man to live like a monk. Now his desire was to make his people free, or with the freedom. He wanted to make the people's life with the dignity and self-respect that animated his life. He wanted, now he was hungry for the freedom of the people, for the dignity of the people, for the respect of the people. That transformed a frightened young man into a bold one. Because of this desire to make the people free, to make the people with their dignity, and to give them self-respect, their self-respect. Now this young man who was frightened all the time, now he has become a bold man. This desire drove a law-abiding attorney to become a criminal, that turned a family-loving husband into a man without a home. The person who was loving his family a lot, now he was away from the home for the purpose of people's freedom. I am no more virtuous or self sacrificing than the next man. But I found that I could not even enjoy the poor and limited freedoms I was allowed when I knew my people were not free. He was sad when people were not free. He was not enjoying his life also. He was not that much giving sacrifice like other people have sacrificed their lives. But he found that he could not even enjoy also. He could not live with the people who are in poverty, who are in that where independence is not there, they don't have their rights. In that situation people are, so he could not enjoy that, he could not live his life also without doubt. He wanted to make the people free from this apartheid system. I knew that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. So, oppressor and oppressed both should be free, both should be liberated. If one is oppressor is oppressing, he is also not free because always he thinks for the oppressed to oppress him. Always he thinks for the that how to treat, how to discriminate the person. So he is also not free. A man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice, a strong dislike without any good reason, and narrow mindedness. When we say that we are not free, but no, the person who is oppressor, he is also not free. The man who is hating the prisoners, that person is also in a prison of hatredness. He is also in lock, he is also behind the bars of prejudice. He is also not free. He is under that pressure of prejudice. He is prejudicing the people, so he is also in the lock, he is also in the jail of prejudice and narrow mindedness. He was binded with the narrow mindedness. He is also not free. I am not truly free if I am taking away someone else's freedom, just as surely as I am not free when my freedom is taken from me. The oppressed and the oppressor alike are robbed of their humanity. No one is free. I am also not truly free, he says. I am taking away someone else's freedom. If anyone is taking someone's freedom, he also is not free. Surely he does not have freedom here. The oppressed who on whom the discrimination is done and oppressor who is doing this discrimination, both are alike robbed of their humanity. They don't have humanity here. This was all about this lesson. Thank you.